It's Lost in Plot, and we are here with the 20th Century Fox straight to Hulu film Prey.
That's right, we're talking about The Predator. Isn't it something that it's been, almost 30 years now since somebody wrote a spec script that became such a kick-ass movie that was The Predator back in 1988? And here we are again, talking about it. Predator's facing something he probably never, ever imagined he would ever face. This is the first hunt for the Predator on the North American Great Plains. He probably never, ever imagined he'd have to fight a woman.
No, a Native American woman out on the plains. An interesting idea, an interesting concept. There was a lot of buzz about it as it was initially going around. So how did it turn out, and what is it about?
Well, really the setup is our protagonist is a Commanche Indian woman who's part of this very misogynistic Commanche Indian tribe, and she wants to be a hunter.
No, you can't hunt.
That's right.
You're a woman. A woman!
None of the dudes are going to let her go out and hunt, even though she's awesome at tracking, she's awesome at medicine, she's awesome at killing things.
Wait a minute. She's starting to sound a little bit like a Mary Sue.
No, you said that.
I said the words. I said the words.
Not me. She's not that, not at all. She's really good at everything, though, and she knows more than everybody else.
She knows more than you.
So the Predator has come to the Earth for what is supposed to be the first time, and he's starting his hunt, looking for the most dangerous animals and predators that he can find to kill and bag as trophies. We all know the setup. It was kick-ass in 1988 with Schwarzenegger and the original Predator.
That's right.
It's been redone a bunch of times since, until Shane Black all but killed it with the last outing.
That's right. So here the setup is basically, you've got the Predator, we know what that's about. We're not fighting commandos in the jungle this time, no. We're fighting a demure Native American woman with a chip on her shoulder, and some French trappers are in there too.
And some of the things this film does get right, because it does really look at the original Predator as the template and not any of the later films. So it starts with just one Predator. It slowly builds up the suspense and the tension until the Predator starts cutting through Commanche Indians, until he starts cutting through French or Dutch fur traders. I couldn't tell which it was that are out there. And it's pretty good for the most part until you realize what we've got here is, it's like we've got strong female protagonists over here against the Predator. So we know how this is going to play out.
It's true. And you know, the only thing they get right about the protagonist, she's not so much as a Mary Sue, because she does fail. She spends most of the first act failing at things. Screwing this up, screwing that up, screwing up. Well, she didn't kill the lion thing or whatever that was hunting after the people. She had a big failure as far as that's concerned. They try to flip it and make it seem like she's really getting everything right. But to me, the biggest problem with the film is that whoever they hired to direct it cannot do an action sequence, in my opinion. The action sequence was a letdown. There's very little energy and kinetic action that's going on screen, and this is really screams out to be an action movie. You want to see big set pieces here with the Predator in action, and instead you kind of get CGI flip and fly around, and then all of a sudden guys are just dead, or they're impaled on blades, and it's invisible, and then it's not. I just don't think this director was cut out to direct the action sequence the film really needs.
My big problem with this one was the third act, for sure. Once we get into the third act and you realize what it is, it's just like, well, a woman can do no wrong, and she's just kicking the Predator's ass around. You just lose all interest. It's lost its mystique. You're damaging the IP even further. Like, this was awful. This was she can do no wrong. And you said, oh, she makes mistakes and she screws up on the first act. It's revealed in the third act, even her screw-ups weren't really screw-ups.
Yeah.
Like, she weakened the animal enough so someone else could kill it. And she knows so much else. And then going into the Predator is humiliated in the third act. This woman just kicks all over. It's absolutely just feminist empowerment. The dudes that wrote this must really have issues with themselves. I think therapists, they're probably going to see a lot of therapists because they probably hate being men. There's so much hatred for masculinity here, and so much just forcing it in the opposite, which I guess makes sense because there's been so many Predator films that the studio execs are probably like, hey, we're not touching that shit again. Until you come to them and say, well, we got a fresh approach. It's a woman protagonist, and she's gonna beat the Predator. And say, okay, I'll make that one. And then this is what we get, and it's another misstep, another misfire. And for me, this one is dead. It's at a 4 out of 10. I just can't forgive all that garbage. Just that shit. Just completely takes me out of it. So, dead for me.
This one's kind of right on the borderline for me. Is it a 5 or a 10? It could really go either way. I guess I'll go ahead and call it alive. At a 5 out of 10?
Oh.
I could have called it dead, but I call it alive. To me, Prey is a lean, mean hour and a half, kind of an action thriller that needs a little bit more good kinetic action to it. I wasn't too... I guess I've been desensitized to Mary Sue.
I think
to the
you
point
have.
where I just
I really
expect
think
it.
you have.
The creature design sucks too. Like, you had something that was iconic in the Predator, and you like took a shit on, and it looks awful. So I don't know why they did that. That was the other big thing, is that it doesn't look like the goddamn Predator. All right, like, I don't know why you changed the creature's face and everything else, but that's besides the point. So you can do a hell of a lot worse than Prey. You can do a heck of a lot better than Prey. But if you like strong women kicking ass, we've got the film for you.
So that worked for you. For me, it was derivative, it was bland, the third act failed, and all of the feminist messaging is just, I shut down at it. So we're splitting on this one, it sounds like,
down.
is Prey.
That's the word on Prey, guys. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Twitter. We'll see you all on the next one.